So many people I know are finding themselves reaching out for career help only to be met with nothing. Being ghosted by former colleagues and folks that you've supported in the past is so disheartening, upsetting, and frustrating. By understanding why your network is ghosting, you can learn how to make the right asks that will open up new opportunities. So in this week's podcast, I explore the 3 reasons your network might be ignoring you and how you can fix it. Hey everyone, I'm Laverne McKinnon and welcome to the Moonshot Mentor podcast. I'm a certified career coach and a grief recovery specialist, and I love to help ambitious, driven people feel confident, empowered, and excited after experiencing a career setback. Whether it's from feeling stuck in a tough period or frustration from slow progress, I offer up tools and resources to help you meet your full potential. Let's jump in. Now, we all know that one of the most important ways to find a job or pivot to a new career is through networking. But what if your network is ghosting you? There are 3 reasons this might be happening. 1, you're asking for support they can't offer. 2, you're neglecting to maintain or leverage your network. 3, you rely too heavily on strong relationships and have not developed arm's length connections. Let's take a closer look at each of these and what you can do to course correct. So the first step is to align your asks with what your network can actually offer. I met with a guru once who told me, don't go to New York expecting it to be San Francisco. The same applies here. Some people in your network know about job leads. Some are in a position to advocate. Some are cheerleaders. Some are great at resume building. Some are good listeners. Be clear about your ask so you make sure that you're going to the right person. One of my clients is super frustrated that a few people in his network are not providing any job leads or hiring him for one-off gigs. These are connections that he's helped in the past, so he expects reciprocity. My sense is he's actually asking for intel or leads they simply don't have, and they may not want him to know that they can't help. So consider that you hold someone in such high regard that you reach out to them to ask for advice. It's flattering to be that person. But if you're that person and you can't deliver, it may be embarrassing to say, I don't know and I can't help you. Ghosting in this situation might be an easier choice rather than acknowledging that they aren't the person that you think they are. Another reason your network won't offer support is that they have to make a Sophie's choice. In certain industries like entertainment, hundreds, if not thousands of people are applying for one job opening. Your contact may need to make a very tough choice about who they are advocating for, since they can't advocate for everyone. I know this information can sting, especially if you've been helpful to your network. The way to move forward is to radically accept what type of support the individual in your network can offer. Don't go to New York expecting it to be San Francisco. However, all is not lost. Keep listening. There are 3 forms of networking, and understanding these 3 specifics can help you reduce the chances of being ghosted. They are search, maintenance, and leverage. So search is finding people who share your interests and have common professional pursuits and career paths. For most folks, this is the easiest form of networking, and it can be accomplished through social media and by attending gatherings. The instances of being ghosted at this initial contact stage are not as high as the other forms. Maintenance is a process of keeping a relationship alive and possibly thriving. This form of networking takes time, energy, and effort. It moves someone from being a contact into a connection and part of your community. Ghosting is more common in this particular form because maintenance requires a level of engagement that's not always within people's bandwidth. So, for example, some people are introverts, some are overwhelmed or simply too busy, and some lack executive function. It's your responsibility to drive the maintenance and get creative about how to do so in a way that actually nourishes you. One of my clients loves to learn, so she makes it a point to have a topic and question when she's in maintenance mode. Leveraging is using your network for gain, making an ask. Now, ghosting can happen at this stage because of a misalignment between the request and what the person can actually offer. As you can see, ghosting happens for a variety of reasons, and some of those are actually out of your control. What is in your control to reduce ghosting is maintaining relationships with your network and making asks of the right people. Maintaining a relationship doesn't mean you have to grab a meal or a coffee or send funny memes or relevant articles. That's certainly an option, but what it really means is maintaining an authentic connection based on the nature of the relationship. So former colleagues may be more deserving of your time in a way that a friend of a friend of a friend doesn't. Someone you met at a party might be a perfect social media connection. A fellow alum may warrant a Zoom meeting rather than you waiting for the next tailgate to catch up. Liking or commenting on an acquaintance's post might be the perfect approach to nurturing a relationship. The most critical part of maintaining relationships is following up after your contact has helped you out. I know so many people, including myself, who have advocated for someone and never received a thank you or a follow-up note on what happened. Leveraging your network takes courage, but don't ghost your network out of fear you'll be ghosted. You can be scared and still make an ask. Once you've been done a solid, don't disappear. Let your contact know what happened, even if the outcome isn't what you'd hoped. For example, you could say something like, "Thank you for the referral. Unfortunately, they filled the role with another candidate, but I appreciate your support. I just had a great meeting with your friend who wasn't able to make an introduction to the hiring manager, but gave me excellent advice. The interview with the recruiter was a good first step, and they're going to share what's going to happen next in a few days. I'll let you know what happens." Remember, ghosting works both ways. That being said, there's a type of connection that doesn't require deep maintenance for you to leverage. It's the value of weak connections. Now, I have to confess that I mistakenly believed that I needed to have close relationships with my network in order to activate them. This was exhausting for me because I'm an introvert and I require a lot of solo time. So I kept my network shallow for most of my career. Big whoops. A recent study from Harvard Business Review found that arm's length relationships with acquaintances can be more helpful for finding a job than strong ties, such as connections to close friends, family, or immediate coworkers. My key takeaway from the research is that the most helpful connections on finding new jobs are weak connections, not strong ones. Simply put, when you have a broader network of acquaintances, you are exposed to more opportunities. A critical factor in creating an arm's length network is some degree of familiarity. It could be a friend of a friend of a friend. It could be a common interest. So the connection doesn't have to be strong. It just has to be strong enough to receive relevant information. So the bottom line, we all get how important networking is. Numerous studies have shown that networking is valuable in gaining access to new intel, getting your foot in the door, finding more and better and high-quality jobs, securing offers with longer tenure, and achieving greater status and authority. What we don't always get is that networking is not a one-size-fits-all approach and that there are solutions to being ghosted by our network. Navigating your network effectively is all about knowing who to approach, when, and how, making certain that the ask correlates with what the person is able to give you. Ghosting often happens because you're asking for support that either is misaligned with what the person can offer or because the relationship hasn't been properly maintained. To minimize ghosting, focus on building a balanced network, maintain your strong ties, but also expand your weak ones. These arm's length connections can actually open more doors than your closest relationships. By understanding the different ways to search, maintain, and leverage your network, you can build strong professional connections and avoid being left in the dark. Okay, that's it for this week. Next week, I'm going to be chatting about the eternal question of work-life balance and how, for so many people, it feels like a constant struggle. I explore how real balance is about making minor, flexible adjustments instead of cementing yourself in a schedule that's so rigid it doesn't leave room for anything to breathe or any type of spaciousness. I'm going to share a simple exercise to help you stay steady in both work and life. Before you go, please do rate and review this blogcast. It's immensely helpful to supporting my work. And if you want to work together one-on-one or in a group situation, head over to my website, moonshotmentor.com. A very big thank you to Lynn Chen for the video and audio editing. You can find her on social at Ms. Lynn Chen. And thank you so much for tuning in this week, and I will see you next week.